Hello guys, you're welcome to another tutorial on Sew with Abby channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing how to cut and sew a simple maxi dress with cut together sleeves and cut together pockets. If this is what you like to see, then keep watching. Let's get into the video. For this tutorial, here are the materials I'll be working with, and for my fabric I have African print here, which is 2.5 here. And the first thing I'll do is to fold my fabric into 4, as I'll be cutting the back and front together. I use the yardage as the length and the fold is on the wrong side. The next thing to do is to draw a straight line, which is serve as the starting or the shoulder line. Then I'll proceed to take my measurement, the first being the neckline. The width is 3.5 inches, while the depth for the back is 1 inch. For the front neck depth, I'll be using 8 inches. Go ahead and determine how deep you want your front neck to be. Now, I will take my shoulder measurements divided by 2. For the purpose of this tutorial, I will use 8 inches. And from that mark, I'll determine how long I want my sleeve to be. I want my sleeve length to be 10.5 inches. But because I'll be adding band of about 1.5, I'll mark 9 inches here as my sleeve length, plus ½ inch that I will use to join the sleeve to the band. And from that mark, I'll come down by 1.5 inches for the shoulder slope. Then draw a slant line towards the neck width. From that shoulder slope, I'll measure my sleeve opening. My desired sleeve opening is 10 inches. Then I'll connect the points into a straight line. The next thing to do now is to take my round measurements, and I'll be using where the sleeve opening measurements stop as a guide on where to take my bust measurements. Here, instead of using my bust measurements, I'll be using my biggest round measurement, which is my hip. My hip circumference divided by 4. Then I will add extra 4 inches as ease allowance. You can add more or less for your ease allowance. It all depends on how free you want the dress on your body. Now, the total measurement of what is there is 14 inches, and I'll mark that 14 inches all the way to the hem. Then connect the points into a straight line. The next thing to do is to create the armhole curve. From the top of the straight line, I'll come down by 1.5 inches. Then draw the armhole curve towards the sleeve opening. Now, this dress is having a cut together side pocket, and I want to mark where it's going to be. From the starting line, I'll come down by 16 inches, which is my shoulder to my waist measurement. And from that mark, I'll come down by 7 inches, which is the sleeve opening. Then I will draw the shape of the pocket. This is all for the drafting of this dress. I'll go ahead now to cut on the lines. But for this shoulder line, I won't be cutting directly on it. I'll cut ½ inch before the shoulder line, and that ½ inch will be used to join the shoulder. And for the length of this dress, the total length is 39 inches, but there's a band at the hem as well, and the band will be 2 inches. So the length of the fabric I'm cutting now is 37, and when I add the band, it will add up to the total length I want the dress to be. I will be cutting the back neckline first, then separate the 2 pieces to cut out the front neckline. So guys, this is what the front neckline looks like, and this is what the back neckline looks like as well. The next thing to do is to cut out facing, and this is the piece for the facing. It's unfold, and I'll place it under the main fabric, trace out the neckline and determine the length I want it to have. This is how I will attach the facing to the main piece. I'll place it at the neck area, right side facing each other, and stitch using 1/2 inch measurement. And after stitching the neckline, I will turn in the edge and stitch it all round to give it a neat finishing. This is the piece for the front facing, and it will be unfold. I'll place it under the main fabric, then trace out the shoulder as well as the neckline. The next thing to do is to mark out the shape of the facing, and my desired length for the facing is 20 inches, which is 4 inches below my waistline, and that is exactly what I have here. Then at the side, I'll go up by 2.5 inches. From the center fold, I'll slant my tape towards the 2.5 inches mark, and I'll measure 6.5 inches, which will serve as the base of the facing. At the top of the facing, I'll measure 3.5 inches from where the neckline stops, and I'll mark that 3.5 inches all the way to the end of the neckline. Then I'll connect the points together. Now from this point, I'll make a curve inwards towards the base. And this is what the facing looks like. The next thing to do is to iron interfacing on the wrong side, and after ironing the interfacing, I will turn in the edges and use iron to press it down. Alright guys, I ironed the interfacing on the wrong side, and I also turn in the edges just like I said. The next thing to do now is to attach the facing to the main piece. The right side of the facing will be placed on the wrong side of the main piece, and this is how I will be stitching it. Alright guys, this is what I have after stitching. The next thing to do is to notch. Then I will flip the facing to the right side of the main piece and give it a good press so that the facing will lay properly. Alright guys, the next thing to do is to stitch down the edges of the facing, but before then I will insert the tassel into the base of the facing like so. After stitching the edges of the facing, this is what I have. I will set this aside and bring in the back piece. After stitching the facing to the neckline, I turn it to the wrong side, and I also turn in the edge like I said, and this is what the right side looks like. The next thing to do now is to join the shoulder. I'll place the front piece on the back piece, right side facing each other. Head over to the sewing machine to stitch using 1/2 inch measurements. After joining the shoulders, the next thing to do is to attach band to the sleeves, and these are the pieces I'll be making use of. The width is 4 inches and 2 inches on fold, and after attaching it to the sleeves, I will have 1.5 inches just like I wanted. Now I will open up the sleeve and place one of the band at the hem like so. Head over to the sewing machine to stitch using 1/2 inch measurements. Alright guys, this is what the sleeves look like after attaching the band. The next thing to do is to close the side. I'll turn my dress to the wrong side and mark how I'm going to stitch it. So this is how I will be closing the two sides. The next thing to do after closing the side is to work on the down part. I want to attach the band, but first I'll need to measure what I have at the hem to know the length I'll cut out for my band. I measured 27 inches there, which means I'll cut out twice of what I measured. Now this is the piece for the band. It is 5 inches and 2.5 inches on fold, and the length is what I measured at the hem plus extra inches. And this is how I'm going to attach it round the hem of the dress. I will go over to the sewing machine now to do that, and after attaching the band to the hem of the dress, I will tack my button, and this is how I'll place each of the button. Alright guys, I have tagged my button and I ended up using 5 instead of the 6 I displayed earlier, and I also attached the band to the hem of my dress. So guys, we've come to the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching. I hope you find this video helpful. Kindly give this video a thumbs up, share and drop a comment, and if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly subscribe and turn on post notification for more videos. See you in my next one.